All right, so I'm going to show you how to do my version of Spanish rice. And I think with a lot of recipes, it's, your touch, your take on things. This is my take on Spanish rice. Of course, it's pulled from a lot of other recipes, but this is a basic Spanish rice. I don't think I'm going too far off and being this is, super unique or anything by any means. But, however, the one unique thing that we're kind of going to do here that's not always done is rather than finish it in the pan on the stovetop, we're going to be finishing it baking it. The reason that we're going with a bake is because we're practicing for making Spanish rice for about 50 to 80 people this summer, and this is the way that we got to do it to get the most amount of rice done as quickly as possible. We also tried this a little while ago and it came out great. So this is generally the recipe that we had tried the first time, but yeah, so go ahead and get a shot here. This is what we're gonna need, just starting with, you can go with avocado or olive oil, obviously. Homemade chicken broth that my waifu made, and we have a video on that she makes amazing homemade chicken broth, and we depend on that literally almost every week. We're going to use a touch of ground cumin, half an onion, a few cloves of garlic. I think it depends on how much garlic you like as to how much you want to put in. We got 2 tomatoes that we got from the Veggie Mart, or how should I say it, Veggie Patch, the Veggie Patch next to us, which is a fantastic place in Georgia here. I'm going to use a Serrano, and here we got the first thing that we're going to do is we're gonna toast the rice. Now sometimes different recipes will kind of go about this differently. Sometimes recipes will call for adding in the oil first, heating that up, and toasting the rice. However, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toast the rice and then add in the oil, just because I think I can get a better toast on the rice that way. Make sure we're gonna start with a high heat, probably could have already kind of got that going, but we'll kind of wait for this to come up to temp. As you can see, the pan is starting to come up with a little bit of smoke, so we've come up to temp. I'm just gonna put and this is 2 cups of rice, long grain white rice, and the key is make sure that you kind of keep an eye on it for sure, and stir it pretty often. It'll take a minute for it to kind of come up to temp, but you don't want any to get the rice black. You just want to kind of get it nice and toasty, and kind of let that happen. And part of the reason Andrea asked me why I'm not putting in oil first, I think I can get a nice toasty color on it first before the oil comes in. I don't think the oil, for me, in my experience doing this, is completely necessary right away. I find that I can get a nice toast on the rice this way, at least in a cast iron. I'm not sure about other pans, but for me, this has worked in a cast iron. Okay, and while the rice is toasting, we're just going to quickly cut up the veggies. We'll start with the garlic here. Don't need to actually chop it so much, since we're actually going to throw it in with the blender. Come back over here. Yeah, we're starting to get a little initial color on that.
I see it.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah. At that point, give it a good stir. This way, I think the other thing is I get to see the real color of it. When you put in oil, it kind of darkens the color. So to me, this is giving me a more honest view of how toasted the rice is. So I'm just going to chunk this up. we're about to put all of these in the blender pretty soon. So. And then I'm going to put seeds and all in the blender in a second here, but I'm just going to come back to the rice. Keep it stirring.
Oh, we're getting golden brown.
Yep.
Should we turn the heat down a little bit? Maybe?
Yeah, we can turn the heat down for sure. Usually do about like a 3 or 4.
Good.
And then,
very good.
Yeah, let me get this in.
It's going to smell toasty and wonderful.
Yeah, actually we'll bring it down even a little bit more. Okay, now while that's still toasting, we're just going to take these veggies and throw them into the blender. Oop, lost a little onion. I think we can put just a smidge of little bit of water in there too.
I thought you were going to use chicken broth. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can use some chicken broth too. I was going to pour in the chicken broth after the vegetables, but it doesn't really matter. Let's give this one more stir real quick. Make sure we're not. Yeah. Starting to. I've turned it down to low at this point.
You're turning it down to low.
Yeah. Still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then don't forget the bouillon.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got our little cubes here.
Oh, that's cool. It's going to totally be ready.
Yeah.
For the broth once you're finished, I believe.
Okay. Here we're plugged in. Just gonna go with a pulse here, a low pulse. Cool.
Is it 4 cups?
Okay. All right, so.
Nice toss.
Yep. Actually, we're gonna put a little bit of the oil in first.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna eyeball this. I'm not using exact measurement, but just enough there.
So that's like about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil.
And bring us back up to temp. Bring us actually pretty high at this point. I know we were smoking, but we came down pretty fast. And then the other important point to bring up is we have already preset the oven to 350. So we're already set for this to go right in. Basically, once I put the tomato mixture, the sauce in with the rice, we're just gonna watch it kind of come to boil, and then as soon as it comes to boil, we're just gonna throw it straight into the oven, and we're gonna give it pop a lid on it, and we're gonna give it 25 minutes, and we'll take a look at it at that point. Okay.
Perfect.
That's exactly the sound we want to hear.
Perfect.
Exactly the sound. Make sure this is just really mixed in there good. I'm gonna let that sit until it comes up to a simmer. The other thing that I need to mention, while this is simmering, I'm gonna add the salt in and a little bit of the ground cumin. I'm gonna kind of eyeball this. I think that should be about right. What do you guesstimate that as?
That's pretty good. It's about a teaspoon.
Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure not to go too much with cumin. It's a beautiful kind of flavor, but it can be overpowering. Sprinkle a little bit of that in there. Cool.
It's probably a half a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon.
And then just mix that in while we got the ingredients here still kind of like wet. I think this is the best time to add the salt. Adding it in too early, I don't think would work as well. Or after. This way I think it gets mixed in perfectly. Again, waiting just for that to... Oh, it's kind of coming up to a simmer now.
Okay. How about... Yeah, okay.
I'm just bringing it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to grab... I'm going to put the lid on. Okay. And then I think it's ready to go in. I think we'll just kind of bring that up, turn that off, put up our stove here. Straight on in, and we're going to give that 25 minutes.
Go. Let's see how it looks.
Okay, so now we're gonna pull it out and give it a look-see. See how it came out. At least give it a fluff. Ooh, that looks pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Alright. Now, ooh, that's kind of looking perfect, to be honest. Onward. Okay. Okay. So, actually, I want to do this with a fork. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to fluff this with a fork.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. I don't see any water in the bottom of the pan.
No.
That's exactly what you want.
Yep.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. It's feeling a little bit like it has a little bit of how do I say it? Not sticking to the bottom of the pan, but it's like kind of like got that like not sticky rice either. That almost more cooked rice on the bottom, which is like sought after. You kind of want that, but yet it's not burnt.
And it's all fluffy and it's not mushy.
Yeah, nothing mushy.
Okay.
Fluffing it, by the way, is important. You gotta fluff it right after you bring it out. This is not an option.
And then you have to put the lid on it
Yep.
for 5 more minutes.
Yep. We'll come back to that.
Go.
We gave it an extra 5 minutes after we brought it out, after we fluffed it, and it's not on any heat. We just give it 5 minutes to set and settle. And right now, I'm gonna give it a taste test. All I'm gonna check for right now is to make sure that we've salted it well enough. My instincts say that we might be able to salt it a little bit more, but I'm just gonna check right now before we serve. Gosh, that's so good. Actually, it's I don't want to curse.
Shouldn't be too.
I don't want to curse, but no, that is, flippin' fantastic. So
Great. So why don't you serve us the bowls?
I'm going to. Okay. So now we're ready to serve. All right. We need a serving spoon. Oh, you want? Okay. I guess that'll work. All right. So now this is going to be the bed for some taquitos that we made earlier today.
In our previous video.
Which please go and check out. I think that's good.
I want a little less rice.
Okay, this is for me.
Like 2 good scoops.
Okay. A little more?
A little more. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Let me put the top back on the rice so we keep that nice and warm. Okay.
Grab a pair of tongs and pull out the taquitos. They can go right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's turn off the taquitos there. Pull them out.
Once again, super erratic with my camera work. Sorry, y'all. Right there.
Yep.
Taquitos. We're not gonna eat all those. We're just
No. But this is what we made earlier, and my God, they look beautiful. And this is also the sauce, inspired by Solito Lindo in LA. I say inspired by, but yeah.
It's not their exact recipe. So why don't you serve us a couple taquitos?
Okay. Would you like 2 or 3?
That second one there, and I'm good.
Okay. I'm gonna go for 3. I can't deny the fact that I think these are gonna be amazing.
Pour some salsa over.
Okay.
That's the avocado salsa. That's plenty for me.
That looks beautiful.
And some crema.
Need some crema as well? Okay. That's a clever trick, by the way. That's all you, but I think that's important.
I learned that from the restaurant days. Okay, that's not for me. Okay, so there we are. Taquitos with aguacate sauce over Spanish rice. Enjoy!